Here is a Canon model HF-M41 camcorder that I got off eBay for only €29.50 plus shipping. According to the seller, he found this in the basement of his flat, left behind by the previous tenants. He didn't have any accessories for it, and therefore he sold it as is. So it was a bit of a gamble. The camcorder looked good in the photos, and it hasn't seen much use. It does have all the stickers still intact, but in the photos of the seller, the automatic lens cap was open. And when you turn off the camcorder, it automatically closes this lens cap. So the last time it was used, something must have gone wrong. I got this, and I'm not starting from zero because I have all the accessories from my Canon XA20 camcorder, which is a much bigger semi-professional unit. So when this camcorder arrived, I used one of the batteries that I have for the XA20, put it on here and pressed power. Nothing happened. So I then got out the power supply and I plugged that in, and on the first try, nothing happened. So I started looking around this camcorder to see if there was, maybe traces of water damage or something like that. And eventually I pressed power once again, and guess what? It turned on. And, well, it won't save any data at the moment. But it's been working ever since. So the batteries that I have for the XA20 are either not compatible with this camcorder because these are a newer type of battery, or the battery circuit in this camcorder is broken. But I will find out about that soon because I have ordered a replacement battery for this, the older type. I have made about 4 hours of test recordings with this so far, and really the only issue is this runs incredibly hot. Now, this may or may not be normal. I guess we will never know. So let's take a closer look at this camcorder. The Canon HF-M41 is a middle-of-the-line camcorder for the year 2011. It got excellent reviews back then in the test magazines, which is primarily thanks to the HD CMOS Pro image sensor. This is a 1/3-inch sensor, and it has a relatively low resolution of only 2 megapixels, which is just enough to record full HD resolution. But that is great because at a given sensor size, the less pixels you have, the bigger the individual pixel, and the bigger the individual pixel, the better the low light sensitivity. And this camcorder is in fact very good in low light. The same HD CMOS Pro sensor is also used in the high-end Canon HFG10, the semi-professional XA10, and the professional XF100 camcorders. So it is a very good sensor. The big difference, of course, is the lens. Now, this camcorder is equipped with a rather small 10 times optical zoom lens, but that is a good thing. 10 times optical zoom is enough for most situations, and on these small lenses, the more zoom you have, the worse the video quality, because the more zoom you have, the more these small lenses start degrading the picture quality. Unfortunately, this lens is not very wide. That's also a big difference between this and those higher-ended models. It does have what is called instant autofocus. Now this works using these extra sensors on the front, and it works really well. The autofocus on this is very fast and very precise. It does have an optical image stabilizer, and it also has a dynamic mode, which adds a digital support to the optical image stabilizer. And then, especially for those situations when you are zoomed in, it has a powered image stabilizer. You push this button and it activates the powered image stabilizer. You let go and it turns it off again. And that gives you a very stable zoom. We also have a rather primitive little viewfinder on the back, but of course on a middle of the line camcorder, a viewfinder these days is an extremely unusual feature. And the interesting thing about this is this button right here, viewfinder. Now the viewfinder, oops, that's interesting. It has done this built-in memory error before. Let's turn this off. Turn this on again. Yeah, see, now it has gone away again. Maybe there is a little quirk in this. Anyway, where was I? This viewfinder button, that's a very interesting feature because it turns the viewfinder on and off. So if I push this, you can see viewfinder turns on. The special thing is it doesn't turn off the LCD screen. So you can use both at the same time, which is very unusual. Push the button again, and come on, viewfinder turns off again. LCD screen is unaffected by this. We also have if you close the screen, there is a standby mode. We also have a microphone input, and this does have manual level control for the audio. We also have this accessory shoe. Now this is mini advanced shoe. This is a Canon proprietary thing. But you can get an adapter to turn this thing into just a standard accessory shoe. Also, there is a headphone output available to monitor the audio. This also doubles as the AV output. Now, this camcorder has an absolutely crazy amount of storage. Now, first of all, we have a built-in 32 gigabytes of storage, and then we have not one, but 2 SD card slots right there. And this camcorder has a function that's called relay recording. So what it does is it first fills up the built-in memory, then automatically switches over and continues recording on SD card 1. And once that is full, it switches over to SD card 2 and continues recording on there. So this can record for days without interruption. What it does not do, unfortunately, it doesn't record 50 frames per second progressive. It's too old for that. It does have a 25 frames per second progressive mode, but those 25 frames per second are recorded into just a normal 50 frames per second interlaced stream. So you have to mess around with your video editing software to actually get those 25 progressive frames per second. Now, we also have this mode selector switch over here. There is an automatic mode, which is extremely limited. you don't get any access to the menu. You cannot change any settings in here. Now, there is the manual mode. This gives you all the features that you'd expect from a middle-of-the-line camcorder. From a good middle-of-the-line camcorder, I should say. But this is limited by the touchscreen. This is an old type of... is it going to do it again? No memory card. Built-in memory error. That's interesting. It hasn't been doing that before. Try again. Let's see, now it works again. Very strange. Anyway, so this is a pressure-sensitive touchscreen, not one of the modern capacitive touchscreens. So you do actually have to push this to get it to do something. But you can scroll through here. Yeah. Now, the third mode that you have is this cinema mode, but I haven't tried that yet. So now, using the manual mode, I'm going to make some test recordings on this so that you can see what the quality is like. I'm now recording on the Canon HF-M41 camcorder, and the wide angle on this is absolutely pathetic. I'm all the way back right up against the wall just to get this incomplete view of the workbench. So let me get closer again. Here is the phone. This has made the first part of the video. This is a Samsung Galaxy S6, which unfortunately does not like making long, uninterrupted video recordings. Sometimes it'll drop frames, sometimes the audio goes out of sync. Not very reliable. So this could be an application for this camcorder because it is light enough to work on this camera mount. This is actually a repurposed microphone mount with some custom-made pieces and some modified pieces. And this was such a great idea because this camera mount makes it so much easier to record these videos at the workbench. And here is a preview of what I will most likely be working on next. Until then, thank you for watching.